Shalom Aleichem. This is Yehud 11. The program is 11 at 11, heard each and every Thursday evening, Leil Shishi, on 6:20 a.m. radio, 11. And of course, please, the hotline number, very important. Our programs are all archived there. Many people don't have radios or are out of the New York area, to the hotline, the computer, web. It's obviously now mutter for certain things. 7641 73900 641 715. You could spread the word just to make it understandable for people looking at the news. Audience. Our purpose is not to offend. The Flatbush News, Moiridic paper, there's a lot of Divrei Torah. My friend of many years, certainly an acquaintance. Maybe I can compliment myself and say he's actually a friend. It's an absolutely fantastic job. October it would be 27, 28, 29, 30, something like October the 30th or something like that. There's going to be a vote in New Jersey having to do with assisted suicide. But it's almost a suspicious mind. The conspiracy theorists like myself feels they're trying to give them some cover, some protection, respectively, to vote the right way. So in other words, again, what we're showing you here, what I'm trying to demonstrate to you is how you have to analyze not only the news, but how it's written, when it's written, where it's written, and what's behind it, and what is motivating those who write it, who present it, how they present. Flatbush, they are very, to a certain extent. And I hope that this gets back to them, that you just be more careful when it's this political stuff. Your grandparents, unsere Mishpachas, unsere Yidden who are going to suffer from this assisted suicide bill. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehakar lebedvari. Let's continue. Item number 2. Tell me, with the bill coming up next Monday, what is Agudas Yisrael doing to fight assisted suicide? What is Rabbi Schnall doing? What is the New Jersey office doing? How many lobbyists do they have there? Or share or others in other parts of the great state of New Jersey to realize that? But are we with it enough to realize that assisted suicide passing is going to depreciate, lower the standards of respect for life and lead to many more pullings of plugs and not servicing old people, which is already alarmingly shvach in these areas. There are already thousands of people who are killed in hospitals through benign neglect or through tiltul menatzad that people don't even know about it. Torah activism for Torah Jews, it's all very thousand. As for the executive offices, is for my dear friend Rabbi Levi Becker, the executive director, is for Chabik Chaim David Zwiebel, the executive vice president, is in the journalism in New Jersey, exactly what they're doing. How come we haven't heard a lot of tumult? It was written up a few times. Where were the major press releases? The self-service stuff here now. Very disappointing. We're going to get back a little bit later. They know how to send you letters for membership, for lifetime membership, and to tell you all the things they're doing. So they should be thrilled to hear when you ask some logical questions. As we asking, what are you doing on assisted suicide? Give you a chance to earn some olam haba in a very easy way and to have a dramatic effect, because I believe if 50 or 100 people would actually call Agudas Yisrael with our message, I believe it could have a profound impact and can see the old days of we're working to stand. That's the situation. Okay, let's continue. Assemblymen with petitions and even gasp, what would happen if there would be a request for Tehillim? That there should actually be Tehillim. Remember, this passed by one vote, despite Avi Schnall's laughter. What is this? It passed by one vote. So those are some of the things they could do. Maybe it's just not important to vote for Cuomo because he's going to give us some more tap or he'll give us some security money. That's important. Yes, to put out letters from Moshe Feinstein, how he wants us to vote, that's important. Cuomo is running against Molinaro, and then there's some minor party candidates. Molinaro has the Conservative Party endorsement. It means absolutely extend and expand. The New Yorkers for Constitutional Freedom from upstate New York, a good organization of Christians who were fighting for morality, but they've gotten somewhat weaker in the last years. They used to have a very powerful, strong biblical sports scorecard. I don't know if they still have it in its entirety. And the questions that they asked, the two morality questions they asked Molinaro and Cuomo, were really no-brainers from him. That when they asked him that, he evolved on gay marriage and other gay issues to be more sensitive, etc., etc. They're very similar to all the claptrap of the Republican and conservative turncoats who kiss up to the Mishkevei Zocha. They don't let us know from New Yorkers for Constitutional Freedom or for the Conservative Party. And that's why I placed another call to Michael Long tonight. I left a message after hours at the Conservative Party headquarters, and I said, I know you for 40 years. You're a good guy. The Conservative Party's done many good things. Too liberal to have this. I think she's courteous enough to do that. Explain to me what's going on. I'll be happy to transmit it to our listeners and to make any necessary corrections for this coming week's program, which is still before the election. To extend it. What they should have asked Molinaro is, do you want to reverse the gay marriage decision? Do you want it to be revisited? Abortion. Do you know a lot of millennials have been, I think 60% have been polled, and 60% believe abortion's a sin. The abortion thing is, believe it or not, is going the right way. With the advance of technology and science, people are finding indisputable, and they realize it's a rikasubarim, and they're responding. And as I said last week, and I'll say again, the Gentiles who are committed to Genesis 9:6, because that's the way they express their spirituality, and that abortion, feticide is a capital offense. In the Torah for Noachites, they fight. They put their money where their mouth is. They fight. This Haredi community. I'm sorry, then this program is not for you. Forgive me, I'm not trying to offend you. But, you know, we're late in the development culture, and let's not make ourselves like we're besumen bixlach, like besumen boxes. We're so crystal, we're so fragile, you can't hear the truth. This is the truth. This is where you're going to hear it. And somebody's got to say it. And if nobody says it, like Bob Grant said, Lahabdal, if you have whatever Rabbi say. Coming to election day, so let's do a little entertainment, a little golden oldie. I'm holding up next to the screen. This is on one side, followed by Carol Bellamy, the liberal candidate, followed by Diane McGrath, the Republican and conservative candidate, and followed by me standing, Yehuda Levi Levin, your humble servant. I was 29, 30 years old. I'm just about New York and the right to life proud. It's a golden road. I've been there. I've done that. I've stood up. I've spoken out. I've made the Kiddush Hashem, and I continue to do it. And I haven't changed in 40 years. And as long as Hashem gives me the koiches, I will continue to do it. And there's a lot more that can be done. On election day, Simcha Eichenstein is on the conservative line. Have really any opponent. So we should be proud. The first Hasidic Jew, we should vote for Simcha Eichenstein. So now I'm going to tell you Hashkafa. Hashkafa is Chabdeu v'Chashdeu. Simcha Eichenstein has been working. He has been the Eved La'avodim of a bunch of low-life liberal nations, de Blasio, maybe Stringer, other people. You understand the whole atmosphere there. When Rebbe Chanan Wasserman in 1941 or thereabouts was in New York, and they drove him into New York, into the Times Square, Sidkani is 4041, whenever Rebbe Chanan was there. Yet Rebbe Chanan was sensitive. He felt the $300 skirts and the $150 shoes, and we click-clacked with the Perego, whatever it's called, $800 baby strollers, and we parade down the avenue to see how much money we could spend so our husbands should work so hard they should get some heart attacks. You understand? Oy vey, Rabbi say, I'm being cynical. What should I be? I should be like an ostrich. I don't know if he was even a city councilman. He might have only been a gay journalist, an activist. There's an additional level of responsibility. He's like the Marines. He's not like a buck private. The smartest thing in the world to do is the votes. Oh, because that Oisov Yehuda Levin spread the word of some of the things I've done in the past. Active. I'm going to be pilot. I'm going to exude. I'm going to give out. I'm going to say, I am the person who's going to stand for biblical morality and family. Lahavdil, like Deborah Glick, the lesbian, represents her constituency. Therefore, if he doesn't want to make the assembly thing blank, And then he will have a message from day one that he shouldn't be Altia Mishaluni. You're one of ours, and automatically you're going to get voted in, and we're going to all support you. No, we're sending you a message from day one. Hatnish Kemoira. Hatnish Kemoira. Do something quite Shemayim. Now, this is deep think. This is intelligent thinking. This is rejuvenation. It's thinking. It's levination. It's thinking deep. When they're going to have to pull me out of Gehenna, so they understand better. So they care about God über Geld. Do they care about it? Do they care about Kvod Shemayim? Do they care about that the Rabbanim and the Dayanim and the people who know don't tell you? We'll talk about that also. But just keep on saying it's peachy keen, everything's beautiful. No, don't get gestört, everything's cool. No, yeah, I'm sorry. So I want to tell you something. I want to make it very clear. In the top 3 statewide races, if the Cuomo gets up, this woman has already succeeded in going from city council to the crumbs. But Letitia James, there wasn't a bill, a pro-gayachs, a shmutz, a garbage, a Christian county clerk who says, I can't bring myself that I should marry 2 people of the same gender. It goes against my religious principles, no matter what the law is. She's a bigot. She's hateful. She's discriminatory. Why is she all these things? Obviously, she believes in her Bible, which happens to be our Torah lahavdil. You understand? This is Letitia Grames. All the Hasidim are falling over each other and falling over. See, Letitia, I got you lots of votes in Williamsburg and Border Park, you see? And the stupid Heinis, the Chamedim, are going to do it. So I want you to know, Letitia James is Muksa Machlas Mia. She's poisoned. Okay? Now, Sabonim. Ooh, you mentioned your Rabbanim. In this, they vote in the Knesset Haminim 6,000 miles away now. It's Yisrael, yeah. But the Valen do, and the Arayas from the smartphones, it's also much more of Arayas that comes out of the legislation. With the, I'm supposed to have Derech Eretz for these people, what they're doing, they're burying us. I'm sorry to say, it's Chayti Umachti Asarabim. What is this at this point? Fair. Where's the Torah Hashem Machkiris Pesi? What's the excuse for this at this late stage in the development? You're abusing your emotions because we have to get program and we need help and we have to show America we appreciate voting. It's much better than Europe when he was in Luban and everything else. Yeah, they told their Moshe what these politicians are standing for in the shmutz, and he would say to vote for them. A nechtige Tag. Boring you? You heard it last week already. You want to hear new stuff? Yehuda Levin is here to pay his own money to give you new stuff, to give you constant entertainment, 60 minutes worth of brand new stuff. Why? To leave her and do a write-up. Simcha Eichenstein should get 3.5 votes. He should still be elected, but he should understand it's not for free. Cuomo opponents, they're all schmutz, and they shouldn't get any votes from Yidden. And if somebody would have said, we're going to do a write-in, and we're going to write down the Chveis was Jesse Helms, who's dead already, he was a conservative senator. We'll all write down Jesse Helms. Imagine if there were 10, 20,000 votes in New York State, in Monroe Square, Hillside, Queens, Kew Garden Hills, instead of voting for the Oisf of Rosenthal, the Gay Employment Non-Discrimination Act, he votes for it. And let me tell you what else J.D. Rosenthal did. Erev amendment for the health part of the budget. And Rosenthal didn't vote on that bill to support it, to show. And all the people there knew the Orthodox Jew wasn't even standing up for the conservative religious Christian. He, Lahavdil, was standing up for his faith against Ritzichas Abarim. But the Tzaddik Rosenthal from Cuba was that a few minutes later they had a vote on that segment of the health bill, and he voted for this. You have 1,000 rabbis and everything else. Why aren't you putting out a biblical scorecard and making it? Did you bother to ever haul off and call down Rosenthal for a meeting in town to stop voting for all the schmutz things he voted for, he didn't vote against? Call Rabbi Yoel Schoenfeld and tell him, we're curious, Joel. You're better than the people in Monroe. You're not prostituting yourself for this and that. You can't tell this from a Yid who needs him in office to do these things. Now, let's just go with the golden oldies again and remember, if you think that Agudas Yisrael doesn't want Cuomo to win re-election and get a lot of votes from the Orthodox Jews so they can go and say, see, we love you, Cuomo. We love you. Remember King Agrippa's, I think his name was it Hurdus? I get mixed up. was a group of face. He wasn't really a halachic Jew, and he took the melucha. So the sycophants were saying, "We love you," and he puts his thumb down. You are not going to do anything to fight gay marriage if you want that tap for yeshiva students. Oh no! So we did a token little thing. Yeah, and Cuomo was happy. And God, Rabbi said, "You want to get a quick olam haba? Here's what you have to do. 212 797 9000 212. You call up, and if you're afraid or embarrassed, they're going to ask your name, and you're ashamed. And if you know your extension, you can put it in now, and you do extension 210, and that's Rev David Zweibel's voicemail. And you say to him, Rev David, I am a year the voters and give us a biblical Torah scorecard and tell us where each candidate in the Fuma neighborhoods and statewide and our congressional, where they hold on a few moral issues on abortion, on gay rights. Most of the stuff goes after the Yidden. If the Yidden don't do, as I told you, Tzefania 6, it's all totally in the Yidden. So can you tell us, does Reb David Feinstein say you don't have to remove it? He tells it, says it, let's hear, come out of the closet and put down Reb David. We want to hear. Retaineinu lishmayim imalkeinu divrei likim chayim toiris Hashem emes chasimosai emes chaisam shal kodesh baruch emes. We want to hear that we don't have to be concerned about these ones. That Yehuda Levin is a chamor. Yehuda Levin is an oxen tipish. What Yehuda Levin is telling us about Rav Lezer Shach, Rav Moshe Feinstein. Why don't you call up Rav David Zweibel, leave that message? If he would get 50 phone calls that would say, why aren't you making a biblical scorecard and let us make an intelligent decision instead of just publishing letters? So then he really respects it. In other words, the politicians, when they get one letter, it's like they figure it's 1,000 people who are upset because they know almost nobody lifts a pen to write. When the one letter is signed, and it's not generated by computer, it's not on a petition, it's a signed letter in snail mail with old-fashioned written by hand, this is tremendously meaningful for them because they say, right, must really be serious. When they get 50 letters like this, it makes a huge impression. If Agudas Yisrael, you've been pointed in the right direction by your local Shaita, Nitten and the Vula Shaita, Yehuda Levin, the Shaita Navi. Now, please, it's up to you to do the right thing. We should vote for her, yeah? No, you shouldn't. But she's endorsed by who knows what, the Jewish press, who's endorsing her, Jewish organizations. When she ran the first time to get all kinds of gay endorsements, you need her for a judge. Somebody's gotten all the gay endorsements. We should reward her. So you're going to go and you're going to vote for her, right? Why? Because some Heimis told you, because you read somewhere in some paper or something to tell you what to vote, right? Now, we're Christians, Democrats. You understand? And therefore, let's not be stupid and think we can vote conservative. When somebody who's on the Republican and conservative lines at the stage where you can vote for almost any Democrat, there's almost no kosher Democrats, especially when they're twinning with Republicans, are also chazit treif. So if you don't know, don't go. I'm not telling you stay home. Go vote, do a write-in, write Mr. Morality. Imagine if 10,000 Jews would write Mr. Morality on election day, November the 6th this year, and somebody would leak it out to the newspapers, 100 or 200,000 conservative religious Christians would say, boy, these Orthodox Jews are really serious about fighting this. Maybe we have to make an alliance with them. Maybe we can knock out one or two local politicians. You'd be surprised at what you can do. We got it. We got election campaign. Ed Rollins called out local. Steven Sola spent $225,000. He took his name off that gay rights bill. He never put it back on. He made a yarmulke bill that you can wear yarmulkes in the army. He made sister millions of dollars over the next few years as it was exposed in the Vilna. Don't tell me you can't do things you can't accomplish. There's no rutzen to accomplish. It's status quo, Joe. Agudas Yisrael Phantom left. Those can be yotam for a few brecklach, a few pennies. Skonim who deal with the staggering divorce rate in the keep on doing mida connected mida. We're doing it for you, for the guilt, for the moistness. We're doing it fair, and nobody says it. And again, don't think Aguda is nonpartisan. Aguda has a vested interest in who's in power. That's why Rabbi Marish Moshe Sherer Zecher Tzadik V'Kodesh V'Tohar Livrocho is a great man, a great asken. But Rabbi Sherer went to David Schick and he asked him to make a fundraiser for Mary Cornwall. That was real nonpartisan. Real nonpartisan. That was not to the letter that I had written to him by Rav Avigdor Miller, the Betzina Rav and the Linzer Rav on the Gayachs, and he wrote a psak. He put it on Agudas Rabbanim stationery, not on the Agudas Yisrael, because I would mention every given oiswa from the Zanne and from this and this and my itis, and we dealt with them. We went, we hunted them, we gave them atunis and everything else. So what are you talking about, Levine? What's Hackstar copies in? Yeah, when you have your chinners, if you run around, you and you go into the